not even pedaling.
No, that was just front wheel drive.
That was just front wheel drive?
Well, you do have the all-wheel drive option, also front wheel drive or rear wheel drive. So there is a fair amount of torque in this little motor.
My fun must be cut short. So this trike is an AddMotor. I never remember, Grandtan. This one is the AddMotor Grandtan. And it is big, hefty, very powerful, has a very long range as long as you're pedaling. If you use the throttle, your battery really goes down. But if you're pedaling at all, it has a very, very long range. I'm about to go on my big adventure that I've been dreaming about ever since I got this e-trike. I have food for myself. I have food for my brother. I'm taking this trike to him because he lives in town. He has a lot of bike paths. I want to see what his thoughts are about this trike in town compared to my very narrow country roads. This is actually my second long distance ride on the trike, but it's the first one in town. I did not video my last long distance ride because it was terrifying. I felt really wide. I was on narrow country roads. I was up in the mountains and it just felt very, very dangerous. Hopefully this doesn't feel as dangerous. Hopefully this just feels like super fun. This is the brightness of the headlamp for the bike by itself. This is the brightness of the one that I bought specifically to be a headlamp. I have it on power assist 1, and as of yet the engine has not kicked in. And the reason for that is the speed that I'm going at power assist 1 is such that it says I don't need any assistance. But that's what it looks like. This display does not light up like that unless I have lights on. Okay. I have been riding for 15, maybe 20 minutes, and that is the third car that I've seen. At this point, my tailbone is starting to hurt. The seat is like a normal chair, with the back that you sit in like a normal chair, and it's hard on your tailbone after about 15 minutes. It's raining. So far, so good. I don't know if I can tip it so you can see, but there's fenders. There's fenders on everything. And so far so good. No issues. Hey guys, so I made it into town. It just started to get light. Let's see if I can get my light to turn off. There we go. All right, so show you the bike. I went up and down in my gears. I went up and down in my power modes. I did just my little battery powered headlight, and then I did the headlight that runs off the trike itself. I had this on the whole time, and I saw a total of 5 cars. So that's the reason why I'm not advising that other people ride at night, but that's why I like to do any of my riding on busy roads before 5 o'clock in the morning, because I can turn all my lights on and there's very, very little traffic, at least in my area. About 3/4 of the way here, my tailbone started to hurt really bad and it was hard to pedal. And so what I did instead was I tucked my tailbone in and just used the throttle at that point. One of the things I love the most about this trike is the fat tires. The fat tires are amazing, and it has special built up tires on the inside that are puncture proof to a certain degree. Now, I love this bike on dirt roads. On bumpy dirt, awkward roads, this is super duper fun to ride because you're going really slow. It's so grippy, and the frame itself twists a little bit. It's really fun to ride on rugged terrain. Because of how big it is, you would need some kind of trailer to take it up into the hills, or you'd need 2 people to be able to lift it up into the back of a pickup in order to ride to get anywhere like that. For general in-town riding where you have good bike paths, I think this is so fun. The little carrier basket is not little, and it's waterproof. And so I've got food in there for my brother. I've got clothes. I've got my chain for the bike. I've got the charger. I've got all sorts of things in there, and it just is so nice for groceries or anything else like that. That's fantastic. If I was to bug out and I had some way to charge this thing, this would be really good for in the hills because, again, fat, grippy tires. It is not a heavy bike to pedal without the pedal assist. A lot of times I'm going fast enough, the pedal assist will turn off. I won't have any assistance, and I can't really tell when that happens because it's so easy to ride on its own. Again, I'm starting out with throttle because unless you're in a really low gear, it can be a little sluggish to get started, just because it's protecting your motor and it's protecting your actual physical bike gears. So power assist 1, and actual gear for the bike is at a 4. I am having to push a little bit, so I'm going to take it up to power assist a little bit, and it's not kicking in. It's going slow. I'm having to push. If I was in gear 1, like I would do for a normal bike, it would speed me up the hill. So I'm at a 4 right now. And it got me up the hill, but it was having to really think about it. I'm at a power assist 4 here, but which is really high, but because I wasn't geared down to 1 for a big hill, because I wasn't geared down to a 1, it couldn't get me up the hill any faster because the gearing for the bike itself was too big, and it doesn't want to break the motor by pushing any harder when it's in a gear that's not appropriate. Go to the bottom of the hill and shift into my first gear instead of my 4th gear. Okay, so you'll probably hear it. I'm going to go forward just a little bit, make sure that my actual physical gears are in. You don't want to pedal backwards or anything. So I'm in my first gear, and I'm going to show myself going up this hill at a level 4 assist. And you can see that I'm just rip snorting up the hill, whereas before I didn't really have any cadence to my pedals, if that makes sense. So the gears in this work exactly the same as a regular bike. You got to be in the right gear. And I need to go up in my gears because I'm going to be more on the flat now. I would never recommend going fast on this trike, ever, because if you hit some kind of unevenness in the road, you have 3 tires that you're trying to stabilize, and they're all fighting each other. So this is the Snake River. I'll see if I can show it to you. It's equally good on grass as it is on dirt or asphalt. And it's really nice if you get into a bad situation. As long as you pause long enough to get in the right gear, you can go pretty much anywhere with this little bike, with this little trike, which is pretty cool. That's why I think for something like therapy, it's ideal. So this is the Snake River. This is my stomping ground. This is my home. Sure is pretty, isn't it? So I'll show you with just the throttle. A lot of times if you're kind of in a stickier situation, you want to just use the throttle, like that kind of tight turn. Or getting up something like this. But the trick with trikes is your balance. It's your own personal balance, not so much the balance of the trike itself. Which is why for somebody that is a senior who has balance issues, I do not think that something like this is a fantastic idea. I've got a little bit of sand here that I'm going to go up, and I'm just using the throttle. I'm not pedaling. So it's kind of acting like one of those little handicapped bikes. You can't hear me pedal. I'm just using the throttle. And because the tires are so big and gnarly, You can go places with this that you could not go with one of those little handicapped carts, because it has big tires and they're fat tires, and it has a really nice big motor. All right, hopefully you can see now. It's going to try and ride backwards. As long as I have the brake on, the engine will kick in. So you saw how that happened, that I was going backwards. I'm going backwards, I'm going backwards. If I put the brakes on to try to stop going backwards, then it doesn't, the engine won't kick in. So I have to have the brakes on. There we go. So I just turned on my headlamp because my other headlamp died. It's been on for too long, so that these guys can see me.
Morning.
Morning. So here we go. I'm going to gear up a little bit. I'm going to stay in one because I want a little bit more exercise before I drop it off to my brother. Again, this bike has a front shock, which is really, really nice. It makes it so that if you hit something really hard, it doesn't hurt your hands, it doesn't hurt your wrists. If I had trails like this everywhere back home at my house, I would always probably be using this trike, but because of how wide this trike is, I take up a lot of space, and on the road and on the roads that I have available to me, this trike is not safe. It is very dangerous. I want to gear down just a little bit, give myself a little break. So I'm on power assist 1 and I'm on 4 on my actual gearing. I'm soaking. See that? We have sagebrush right next to the river, right on the bike path. This is Idaho Falls. Absolutely beautiful. I'm soaked. My bike is soaked. I'm hoping I've shown you guys enough of me riding on the trails. I want to save some battery to show my brother using this for his knee the first time. So there's my bike, my truck. There, now you've had your gratuitous B-roll of me going back and forth. It's really, really easy to turn on a dime using the throttle, but it takes practice to do it. It all just takes practice. All just takes practice. Practice, practice, practice. It's not an unattractive trike. I think it's super cute. I mentioned how much I love this helmet. I love this helmet. Ex-Nito, pretty expensive, like 150 bucks. I didn't spend that much on it. They sent it to me, but I think it's wonderful. Okay, Ben is going to try to get onto the bike without getting hurt again. Yeah, the right side's going to want to catch on that bolt. Oh, way easier out this door than the other one. And I will watch. So far it's not high centering. Not high centering. Woohoo! Do you want to show me again?
Yeah.
What I love is the fat tires. You can go through dirt, you can go through sand, you can go through snow with these things. You're not going to find a spot where it can't pretty much gear you through stuff. Better for you guys in here than at our house, because our roads are too narrow for something this wide. Oh, good deal. I think every time you ride it, you'll just get to the point where it's less awkward. Don't you?
Yeah.
Because it's not much different from one of those little handicap scooters. It just has a lot more torque.
I wonder if...
What do you think? More of a pain in the butt, or
I think it's worth trying.
Okay.
It'd be really good for me to go out biking, and it would make it I could go places I can't go right now, or if I do, I have to go on crutches, and my foot hurts at the end of it.
Right. I think you could ride this into the grocery store and just use it as your wheelchair instead of getting on and off. I think you could just use it. However,
You don't think they stop me?
well, they don't stop motorized carts. Do you want me to help at all, or just...
No, because I need to figure out if I can do it myself.
Okay.
Okay. There's probably more room here than there was out there.
Yeah, it seems to be. Ta-da! My tailbone gets tired on it after about 15 minutes of solid riding. And that's when I just kind of tilt my pelvis and just use the throttle if I'm out a ways. If I can get them to send me another one, I'll get one for one delay too. But then I think you might want a storage solution that doesn't take up so much space in your house. Yeah, it's just big. It's going to take up some space. Oh, it went through way better that time. It's big. But you can put a trailer on it too if you can find one that'll work. And
What about the boat?
you want to pull the boat?
Yeah.
I think we should.
It might pull it for a few steps. Okay.
Good idea. I put the truck on the boat because then it gives you another seat.
Yeah, and then I can pull the boat at the same time with the truck.
I think.
I think you totally should.
If you had a horse, we could put it in.
Yeah.
And maybe a goat.
You guys think
And
you're
then the
funny?
horse
I'm
will
gonna.
get better economy because it's on wheels.
Yes. I like
Yeah, you think you're funny.